Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Wednesday, April 14th, at 3:27 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 769 headlines from 108 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. Bloody man running from NC cops was fugitive bank teller missing for 2 years, Feds say. A US F-15C fighter jet recently fired the longest air-to-air missile kill shot in Air Force history. Report, Mexico's COVID-19 policies cost huge number of lives. The Department of Justice arrested and charged an accused Capitol rioter after he spoke to Insider about his fun time there. 3 Supreme Court justices tackle U.S. partisan divisions in public remarks. Tiger sharks eat whale carcass that drifted ashore in Hawaii. 70-year-old has been on death row for 45 years. A Texas court just tossed a sentence. Company withdraws plan for 10,000 hogs northeast of KC after local opposition, lawsuit. Mysterious goat appears in Death Valley National Park. That's bad news, rangers say. Biden team believes Austin Tice, journalist missing in Syria, is alive. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Queen returns to royal duties after death of Prince Philip, The Associated Press. Jadeveon Clowney, Cleveland Browns reach 1-year deal worth up to $10 million, source says, ESPN. CDC vaccine advisors seek more data on rare blood clots before deciding whether to resume Johnson & Johnson shots, The Washington Post. Bitcoin and Dogecoin prices soar to records as Coinbase lists, The Wall Street Journal. Windows 10's timeline feature is going away, The Verge. NFL Draft 2021, Justin Fields, Kyle Shanahan talk at Pro Day, stirring up buzz over who'll go number 3 to 49ers, CBS Sports. NCAA to allow transfers to play college football, basketball without sitting out a season, reports say, ESPN. The new president of ABC News is about to make history, CNN. Missed chances and what might have been 5 talking points from Liverpool 0-0 Real Madrid, this is Anfield. Danica Patrick was broken open after Aaron Rodgers breakup, Yahoo Entertainment. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Ivanka Trump gets COVID-19 vaccine. Lizzo, body positivity has been co-opted and it's not helping fat people. California Gold Rush town votes to remove news from city logo. Senate advances bill seeking to address hate crimes against Asian Americans. Joe Manchin says voting rights bill can be bipartisan, Republicans aren't interested. Bobby Brown believes Nick Gordon definitely had role in Whitney Houston's death. Billy Eichner foresaw Colton Underwood becoming first gay bachelor in 2019. Biden visits Arlington Cemetery after Afghanistan withdrawal speech. The most popular baby names of 2021 so far. Royals share never-before-seen photos of the Queen and Philip with great-grandkids. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Man training to make wheelchair Paralympic team. 8YO to focus on DC's homeless. Man named top manager in the country. Show your vaccine card, get free beer at brewery. Firefighters free frightened dog from under truck. Blake Shelton reels in massive paddlefish in OK. 6 rescued, search on for others after boat capsizes. Child lives dream of being a police officer. Vandalism of new home sends message to neighborhood. Man accused of harassing women on beach. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, the New York Times. Johnson & Johnson pause will continue until CDC panel meets again. Defense expert calls George Floyd's cause of death undetermined. Kim Potter is charged with manslaughter in Daunte Wright killing. Afghanistan, Bernie Madoff, Spring Gardens, your Wednesday evening briefing. Iran's top leader signals nuclear talks to resume despite Natanz sabotage. Bernie Madoff, architect of largest Ponzi scheme in history, dead at 82. With George Floyd, a raging debate over bias in the science of death. Former Condé Nast editor plans a Vanity Fair for the Substack era. Kristen Smart was killed during attempted rape, prosecutor says. How the courts have handled accidental discharge cases. The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Alex Berenson tells Tucker Carlson marijuana legalization has been very savvy and coordinated campaign. Prez delivers with bat to finish big series, KC tops Angels. Man who killed New Mexico police officer had criminal past, drug history, reports. Real Housewives star Bronwyn Windenberg talks status of her open marriage to husband Sean. 5 Astros land on injured list because of COVID-19 protocols. Evaldi, Red Sox beat Twins 3-2, run winning streak to 8. How the federal income tax began, and why it's not going anywhere. Pandemic making NFL draft small school gems harder to find. Bichette hit second homer in 9th, Blue Jays beat Yankees 5-4. Jeff Bezos Blue Origin launches NS-15 in preparation for future manned missions. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Wednesday, April 14th. The next headlines are from the seventh most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. Harbor Town requires you really to think your way around the golf course, says Dottie Pepper on the RBC Heritage. Short tracks is where it's at. Superstar Racing Experience broadcast crew discuss what fans should expect from inaugural season on CBS. Daunte Wright shooting, FMR, Brooklyn Center officer Kim Potter arrested, will be charged with second-degree manslaughter. Plus up stimulus checks going out to those who were underpaid. Watch the Derek Chauvin trial live. Superstar Racing Experience names broadcast team for debut season on CBS, Alan Bestwick, Brad Daugherty, Lindsay Arniak and Matt Yoakum. 211k pounds of ground turkey sold as Wegmans or Nature Promise brands could be contaminated with salmonella. Margaret Josephs on The Real Housewives of New Jersey and Caviar Dreams, tuna fish budget. Everybody knows me from the show, but that's only 25% of my life. Watch, President Biden picks up toy dropped by daughter of fallen Capitol Police Officer William Evans during service. Harbor Town Golf Links profile, shot-making excellence required at RBC Heritage. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Moment police kick down door to grab Britain returning from Bahrain. This is what the perfect lunchbox looks like. Derek Chauvin trial, pathology expert says George Floyd died from sudden cardiac arrhythmia. Gladiators, Shadow is pictured in police mugshot after admitting role in drug-fueled blackmail plot. Queen decides none of the royal family members to wear military uniform at Prince Philip's funeral. London Bridge attack, housekeeper tells Osman Khan Shushtar to tell her not to scream. Billionaire Nick Candy's luxury Hyde Park penthouse goes on sale for $175 million. What will become of Bernie Madoff's widow Ruth? Richard K., how has it come to this, and what on earth would Prince Philip think? Biden says he's pulling 2,500 troops from Afghanistan because the U.S. has accomplished the mission. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is the Washington Post World News Feed. For an Iraqi doctor, vaccination is bittersweet. It didn't come in time for her father. What we know about the Natanz nuclear site attack. Israel plays spoiler in Biden's Iran gambit. Denmark abandons AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine after rare blood clots. China to Japanese official, if treated radioactive water from Fukushima is safe, please drink it. Everything you need to know about the Tokyo Olympics. Jump the vaccine line. In Germany, you could face prosecution. What to know about U.S. forces in Afghanistan as withdrawal looms. Bhutan sat on coronavirus vaccines for months, awaiting auspicious rollout date, then delivered shots to 93% of adults in 2 weeks. COVID-19 live updates. CDC vaccine advisors want more data before ruling on Johnson & Johnson vaccine's future. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Coronavirus live news. France to add Minister J&J vaccine as planned while Sweden pauses rollout. Biden outlines Afghanistan withdrawal. It's time for American troops to come home, live. Officer who fatally shot Daunte Wright charged with manslaughter. Foden thunderbolt puts Manchester City in semis after Dortmund scare. Liverpool room miss chances as Real Madrid and Champions League hopes. Magic mushrooms show promise in treatment for depression, study says. California Gold Rush town votes to remove news from its logo. Twins and Drelton Simmons ruled out with COVID-19 week after declining vaccine. UN warns of humanitarian crisis as St. Vincent eruptions displace thousands. Will a wildlife refuge benefit a heavily polluted Albuquerque neighborhood? The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. Epic drought means water crisis on Oregon-California border. Police chief reprimands officer over Breonna Taylor email. Soldier charged after video of confrontation with black man. Key takeaways from Derek Chauvin's murder trial, day 13. CDC panel calls to keep J&J vaccine pause in place, collect more data. Live, ABC News Live. Officer ambushed, shot at traffic stop, suspect in custody. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Crypto firm Coinbase valued at more than oil giant BP. Biden, I won't pass Afghan war on to fifth president. Daunte Wright shooting, Officer Kim Potter charged over killing. Afghanistan, Biden calls for end to America's longest war. Japan, clock stopped by earthquake restarts 10 years on. AstraZeneca vaccine, Denmark stops rollout completely. Iran to enrich uranium to 60% after wicked nuclear site attack. Bernie Madoff, disgraced financier dies in prison. Olivier Duhamel, French political scientist faces inquiry over sex abuse claims. The Bachelor star Colton Underwood comes out as gay. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Biden ends Afghan forever war for U.S. troops. Prosecution questions pathologist in Chauvin trial. Ex-Brooklyn Center police officer arrested, charged with second-degree manslaughter in Daunte Wright's shooting death. AP Top Stories April 14th p. Biden's infrastructure plan calls for cities to limit single-family zoning and instead build affordable housing. U.S. Senator Graham opposes Afghanistan troop pullout. Derek Chauvin trial live, defense medical expert says George Floyd's death was due to underlying heart issues. Blinken, Austin pledge U.S. engagement with allies. Charges filed in California missing student case. Pause in one virus shot impacts community clinics. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. San Francisco reopens further with live shows, conferences and masks on messaging. Julia Bogany, venerated Tongva elder who fought for her tribe's recognition, dies. Several Huntington Park finance employees put on leave, one arrested in data breach probe. Former priest charged with sexually abusing children in Palmdale and Redondo Beach. Column, there's a fight over the direction of Black Lives Matter, the timing couldn't be worse. Paul Flores killed Kristen Smart in dorm room during attempted rape, prosecutors allege. After dispute at nightclub, man shot and critically wounded in Hollywood Hills. Will Johnson & Johnson woes make it harder to get COVID-19 vaccine in California? Column, the UC system is one of the best and worst parts of living in California. Kristen Smart's family spent nearly 25 years tracking her killer. Now they hope to bring her home. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. 6 young climate activists are suing the Brazilian government for revising its commitments under the Paris Agreement in a way that allows the country to emit more greenhouse gases. The lawsuit seeks to annul the revised emissions commitments. Central Intelligence Agency says Russia's military buildup now enough to launch incursions into Ukraine. U.S. climate research outpost abandoned over fears it will fall into sea. We felt we had maybe another 10 years, but then we started losing a foot of a bluff a week and realized we didn't have years. An investigation has unearthed photos of Australian soldiers allegedly committing war crimes. Hundreds of photos on several USB sticks were buried in a child's lunchbox by Australia's most decorated former SAS soldier. Chip war, US and Taiwan ban 7 Chinese companies. Russia joins China and South Korea in expressing serious concern at Japan's plan to release wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear disaster. Ray, FBI opens investigation into China every 10 hours. Nearly half of women, girls do not own their bodies, UN says. UNFPA says nearly half the women and girls in developing countries do not have decision-making power over their own bodies, including in whether or not to have sex with their partners. Pakistan to ban far-right religious party after violent protest. Ukraine warns that Russia is moving to store nuclear weapons in Crimea. France is giving citizens $3,000 to get rid of their car and get an e-bike. In World First, New Zealand to make banks report climate impact. New Zealand will force banks to reveal the impact their investments have on climate change. Under World First legislation intended to make the financial sector's environmental record transparent, officials said. Russia seeking to provoke Ukraine conflict, Germany says. We cannot drink oil, campaigners condemn East African pipeline project global development. Russia warns US to stay away for its own good as Ukraine standoff intensifies. The next headlines are from Forbes. Shadow and Bone creators say the Netflix series is about the primal fear of the dark. The New York Mets sweep the Philadelphia Phillies, and brush aside some unneeded nostalgia. Institutional leveraged loan issuance tripled first quarter 2021. Minor League Baseball team to auction off naming rights to its stadium for individual games. Why is Australia building missiles? Because America might hoard all its missiles for itself. Corinne Fox talks dad stop embarrassing me, and producing her father, Jamie. Jadeveon Clowney latest addition to Cleveland Browns defense. Twitter to study whether its algorithm causes unintentional harms. Kristen Smart was killed by college classmate in attempted rape, prosecutors allege. Replenishment on defense means Kirk Cousins must have big year leading Vikings offense in 2021. The next headlines are from Nature.com. AMBRA-1 regulates cyclin D2 guard S phase entry and genomic integrity. Genomic insights into population history and biological adaptation in Oceania. Organelle degradation in the lens by plot phospholipases. CRL4, sup, AMBRA-1, sup, is a master regulator of D-type cyclins. The antibiotic throbactin mimics a B strand to inhibit outer membrane insertase. Non-reciprocal phase transitions. Lipid dismantling of lens organelles for clear vision. HP1 drives de novo 3D genome reorganization in early, Drosophila I, embryos. Liquid-induced topological transformations of cellular microstructures. Coronavirus variants, what viral mutants mean for the pandemic. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,698,666,694 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. ArcLight Hollywood may be closing, but it's not too late to save other cinemas. Reservoir Music Rights Company to list on NASDAQ with $788 million valuation. What's behind the big shuffle among TV news executives? Music industry moves, Questlove sets next book release, Sony Music Publishing signs Super Mario. Christina Jackson joins FX pilot Spook who sat by the door. To protest Scott Rudin, Broadway star Karen Oliva won't return to Moulin Rouge. The Bachelor producers, Chris Harrison celebrate Colton Underwood coming out. Oscars to pre-record original song performances on Academy Museum rooftop exclusive. Inside Annapurna CEO Megan Ellison's long-awaited return to work exclusive. Jorge Ramos, Adriana Cisneros, Walter F. Ulloa discuss the future of the U.S. Hispanic and Latin American digital media space. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Officer cleared in the shooting death of Ashley Babbitt during Capitol riot. U.S. health officials continue pause of Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Ex-FDA chief sees struggle to vaccinate more than half U.S. population. A year in, here's what we know about vitamin D for preventing COVID. Intelligence chiefs say China, Russia are biggest threats to U.S. Falun Gong, Steve Bannon and the Trump era battle over internet freedom. Johnson & Johnson halt isn't just a U.S. problem. Journalist investigates crime story of the Sackler family and the opioid crisis. Bernie Madoff, whose Ponzi scheme bilked thousands, dies in prison. Defense medical expert, Floyd's manner of death undetermined, not homicide. The following headlines are from The Week. Medical expert, Chauvin's knee did not injure Floyd. Mick Jagger and Dave Grohl collaborated on a song about living in lockdown. Cake boss Buddy Vallastro's fifth hand surgery was a success, Gigi Hadid likely sighs in relief. Federal prosecution gives most comprehensive presentation so far showing that some Capitol rioters stashed firearms. ABC News is getting a historic new president. The Daily Gossip, Usher Bucks cause major misunderstanding at a Vegas club, The Bachelor's Colton Underwood comes out as gay, and more. Biden says he spoke to Bush about decision to exit Afghanistan. When should the U.S. have left Afghanistan? Officer won't be charged in fatal shooting of Ashley Babbitt during Capitol riot. The Taliban and Afghan government may both be unhappy with Biden's troop withdrawal plan. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. ERCOT asks Texans to conserve power as electric grid again struggle to keep up with demand. Lone Star State, insurrection infection. The next headlines are from Physics Buzz News. A brief history of latex. The next headlines are from Universe Today. If you want to move an asteroid, you need the right kind of nuclear explosion. Finding oxygen on an alien world doesn't always mean there's life there. 100-meter asteroid created a strange impact event in Antarctica 430,000 years ago. Galileo's sunspot sketches versus modern deep learning AI. Earth gains 5,200 tons of dust from space every year. The same technology could search for microbes in Mars rocks or under the ice on Europa. Trojan mission Lucy tested its solar panels for the first time. Those things are huge. These are the news headlines for today, Wednesday, April 14th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Chemical fingerprint reveals a migrating exoplanet. Carbon dioxide levels now higher than at any time in past 3.6 million years. Sunlight through trees in Singapore. Mars helicopter first flight postponed to next week. Possible life signs in the clouds of Venus. In mid-April, look west after sunset for Mars and the Moon. Leo, here's your constellation. The next news is from Politico. Biden's first 100 days. Defense witness blames George Floyd's death on heart trouble. Falwell's son out as VP at Liberty University. CDC vaccine panel unexpectedly delays decision on Johnson & Johnson shot. The Pentagon is not making these decisions, how Biden's team overrode the brass on Afghanistan. Opinion: a post-filibuster world would be a nightmare for progressives. Biden announces withdrawal from Afghanistan in speech heavy on symbolism. White House Correspondents Association cancels 2021 dinner. Republicans prepping smaller counter-offer to Biden's infrastructure plan. Capitol Police riot unit suffered before insurrection, watchdog finds. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Sydney set for new $800 6-star hotel. ASX set to slide despite strong start to U.S. earnings season. Manila cruise unavoidable as WA exporters forced navigate COVID waters alone. Fringe artists to protest Woodside CBD headquarters ahead of AGM. Surprise, the pandemic improved the standard of drawing in Australia. Fueling the property fire, the stir-crazy Australian seeking better homes and gardens. Police search for trio wanted over fatal attack on teen. Freight train derails near Wagga Wagga. Echoing Trump, Biden vows to end forever war in Afghanistan. Pandemic has created a new normal for Australia's economy, says former RBA board member. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Cryptos, Coinbase has fueled a lot of frenzy and that never ends well, Bitcoin bull Novogratz tells MarketWatch. Coinbase's most valuable U.S. exchange after first day of trading. CDC committee votes to extend a pause for J&J's COVID-19 shot. The moneyest, my mother is dying of cancer. My stepfather told me that she made a will. When is a good time to ask her about it? The margin, exercising about 22 minutes a day could cut your risk of getting severe COVID or dying, study finds. The moneyest, I'm on track to retire at 58. My fiancé is in debt and drives my old car, and I support her family. How do I ensure my son inherits my wealth after I die? The moneyest, my wife offered to loan me money when I was having financial trouble. Now I make 6 figures, and she refuses to pay any bills. Dispatches from a pandemic, Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca clot issues are not unexpected. It would be more unusual to have no vaccine problems. How much money should I spend on Coinbase stock? Financial advisors offer guidance to young investors. Personal Finance Daily, airlines fill middle seats against the CDC's advice and the Johnson & Johnson saga reveals vulnerabilities in COVID-19 vaccine strategy. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Science for the People, Punai News. United States Patent and Trademark Office expands Patents for Humanity program to COVID-19 inventions, JD Supra. Amazon wants to take people on virtual scratch and sniff shopping trips, patent reveals, telegraph.co.uk. Avoid IP pitfalls when dissolving and winding up your business. The Legal Intelligencer, law.com. Amgen asks Scottish to reject Roche petition, Life Sciences Intellectual Property Review. Vanderbilt Institute of Nanoscale Science and Engineering awarded Venture Well grant for undergraduate immersion class, Vanderbilt University News. Leveraging EAV patent portfolios during a pandemic, intellectual property, United States, Mondac News alerts. AI and IP, Law Society of Ireland Gazette. Lance P. Muir News, Sports, Jobs, Williamsport Sun Gazette. Innovation needed to bridge patent diversity gap, attorneys say, Indiana lawyer. The next headlines are from Quartz. The COVID-19 vaccine side effects that specifically affect women. Why you still cannot get a PS5. Bernie Madoff, dead at 82, still firmly holds a Ponzi scheme record. Zoom backgrounds. Grab's record-breaking SPAC merger left more than $2 billion on the table. 5 ways chief sustainability officers can be effective stewards of business and the planet. The big issue for Amazon warehouse workers isn't money, it's autonomy. Resist the workation. A Chinese platform erased accounts promoting radical feminist views shunning men. J&J vaccine problems, Coinbase goes public, Spider chats. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. I guess they're not all on the same side. Cops brutalize soldier 4, checks notes, leading them to a well-lit area. Donald Trump caused the techlash. Deconstructing Justice Thomas pro-censorship statement. Daily Deal, Babel language learning. Sense, Cruz, Hawley and Lee show how to take a good bill idea and make it blatantly unconstitutional. Cable giant Charter fined $19 million for lying about competitors going out of business. Flip-flop, Nike now on the receiving end of trademark threat over USPS-inspired sneakers. Court says 2 cops who deploy deadly force can use Florida's victims' rights law to hide their names from the public. Tech Dirt Podcast Episode 278, 2 Curious Cases. States are rolling out massive ALPR networks to take down dangerous, uninsured drivers. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Jadavian Clowney. Dortmund vs Man City. Liverpool vs Real Madrid. Fast and Furious 9. Fred Hampton. Aaron Donald. Adam Perkins Vine. Bernie Madoff. Anthony Edwards. Morgan Wallen. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. Brazil's top court confirms probe into Bolsonaro's COVID-19 response as richest state warns of imminent healthcare collapse. Back, are you ready? Man City star Foden singles out PSG ace as fans hail Guardiola influence on England youngster. Biden's UN ambassador slammed for declaring white supremacy weaved into U.S. founding documents and principles. Real Madrid overcome bus attack and Liverpool to book spotting Champions League semis, as fans blast Salah for missed chances. English starlets shine on both sides as Guardiola and Man City keep Champions League dream alive with win over Dortmund. U.S. Senator congratulates Air Force Reserve with a picture of Russian planes. Are journalists betraying their values? No, it's the public who are wrong, says Washington Post writer. Prolonged nuclear talks with U.S. would be harmful, Khomeini warns as Iran reportedly close to starting 60% uranium enrichment. Fear really drives numbers, CNN director calls COVID-19 gangbusters with ratings, latest undercover video reveals. British court halts enforcement of UK's legal settlement, saying Moscow has high chance of successful appeal in $60 billion battle. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. The New York Times did a big 180 in favor of absentee voting. 1 dead, 12 missing after lift vessel capsizes in Gulf near Louisiana. Food prices are rising aggressively, and even corporate media admits it's only going to get worse. Despite Fauci reassurance, CDC advisory panel delays vote on unpausing J&J vaccine by 10 days. St. Vincent volcano eruption morphs into humanitarian crisis. Is the Department of Justice lying about the Ashley Babbitt case? Hong Kong journalist who embarrassed WHO official quits after online attacks. Final nail in the coffin. Dollar dumps amid coin carnage, Archie's angst, and ignited inflation. Daily briefing, signs of trouble in the bank earnings blowout, plus Coinbase debut. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Brazil Senate investigating Bolsonaro's handling of COVID-19. Pricey Pixel, digital artist packs NFTs auctioned off for $16.80 Walmart to create 100,000 full-time U.S. roles in retention push. Powell defends Fed's increasing focus on climate change threats. Enlarged heart, not knee, caused Floyd's death, defense expert. U.S. stocks end mixed despite stellar bank earnings. Eritrean troops open fire in Tigray's Adwa, kill 3, rights group. Hunger striking U.S. activists demand end to Yemen blockade. Turkish writer Ahmet Altan released from prison, lawyer. How will U.S. troop withdrawal affect Afghanistan? The next headlines are from Breitbart. House Democrats have slim vote margin after Republican Julia Letlow swearing in. DeSantis, Google YouTube trying to serve as a council of censors, enforcers of the narrative. Joe Biden, it's time to end America's longest war in Afghanistan. Former North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory launches bid for 2022 Senate. YouTube suspends Rebel News over election misinformation. Poll, Americans say DC is the worst place in the country. Watch, UN Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield tells Al Sharpton Group, white supremacy in America's founding documents and principles. GOP plays Kamala Harris's picture on missing milk carton to highlight border debacle. Italian whistleblower says WHO superiors forced him to change coronavirus report. Republican Study Committee, the right to make weapons is the right to be free. The next headlines are from UPI News. Wait for prescription leads and man to $200,000 lottery jackpot. Watch, venomous snake found in lettuce package from Australian store. Watch, Texas emergency responders free dog trapped in truck's undercarriage. Restaurant offers year of free burgers to customers who get tattoos. Watch, Florida women use mop to eject baby alligator from inside home. Bush Beer offers $20,000 for a canine chief tasting officer to sample dog brew. Watch, Guinness record holder gets first haircut in 12 years, donates locks to museum. Watch, animal services officer rescues 7 puppies from hole. Maryland woman shows $100,000 lottery ticket with her eyes closed. French town Village bitch's Facebook page removed an error. The next headlines are from odd, strange and bizarre things. The coolest restaurants from around the world. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. Deaf sheepdog returns to herding her flock after learning sign language. Colorado proposes giving free therapy to young people struggling in pandemic. Japanese doctors perform world's first living donor lung transplant on COVID-19 patient. Falconry saves man from life of crime, now he helps birds and at-risk youth take flight. Art historians discover place where Van Gogh painted his last masterpiece. They found a baby on the subway, now he's their adopted son. Sustainable seagrass high in omega-6 and protein is better than rice for this master chef. Girl surprised with pet dragon after surviving cancer and making a wish, it's a marvel of engineering. MIT scientists spin some music out of spider webs, and it sounds otherworldly, listen. Man mailed himself home in a box from Australia, now he's looking for the pals who help him. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Wednesday, April 14th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Fake ad for $400 a month Markham, Ontario. Treehouse gets agents calling for showings. Where's my house? Homebuyer shocked to discover half of property missing. Snakes and lettuce. Shoppers in Australia find venomous snake in Aldi fresh produce bag. Twerking for the top brass. The inappropriate dance routine the Australian Navy tried to hide. A $1.2 million bank error buys a house, and an arrest, officials say. Men dressed as Star Wars characters clean up Siberian city to mark first human space flight. Apple iPhone 11 Pro with misprinted brand logo sold for $2,700. Former porn star Mary Carey announces California recall bid, again. Family Matters star Jaleel White to launch Purple Urkel cannabis line. Prime suspect arrested in 1996 disappearance of student. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. Amazon's new $120 Echo Buds are 20% smaller and cancel twice the noise. Review, the Nemesis DLC for Stellaris is a glorious add-on for horrible people. How my stolen bike inspired an IAD innovation. This $110 Android tablet is perfect for watching Netflix, surfing the web, and more. Why we should be excited and worried about Neuralink's brain computer interface. Learning guitar is better than meditation, an ode to instruments. 3 reasons why I won't hire you to join my tech startup. Leaked Android 12 features hint at iOS-style clipboard and location permissions. How Facebook's ad system lets companies talk out of both sides of their mouths. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Little Swirling Mysteries, uncovering dynamics of ultra-small, ultra-fast groups of atoms. New evidence suggests sexual division of labor as farming arose in Europe. Lower COVID-19 rates seen in U.S. states with higher adherence to mask wearing. Dietary cocoa improves health of obese mice, likely has implications for humans. Fast-spinning black holes narrow the search for dark matter particles. Suppression of COVID-19 waves reflects time-dependent social activity, not herd immunity. ER visits for suicidal behavior decline during the first 8 months of pandemic, Michigan study finds. Air pollution may affect severity and hospitalization in COVID-19 patients. Gigantic flying pterosaurs hit spoked vertebrae to support their ridiculously long necks. Genetic admixture in the South Pacific, from denisovans to the human immune response. The next headlines are from Information Week. Why IT leaders should make cloud training a top priority. Mass Mutual CISO talks cybersecurity priorities. The 5 pillars of resilience engineering. Information Week to upgrade site design, performance. How 2020 impacted 2021's predictive modeling. Optimizing the CIO and CFO relationship. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Wednesday, April 14th from over 100 sources to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA to provide live coverage of space station crew landing. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Utah aiming for a third round of 16 appearance in 4 seasons when it opens NCAA women's volleyball tournament. After negotiating pandemic-filled season by women's volleyball team not sweating their NCAA opponent. Mormon land, lawyer to judge to apostle, a look at Alan Oak's life and what he is really like. The Utah Jazz have a 25-3 record at home this season, despite having relatively few fans in the seats. How? Utah Jazz are now trying to balance wins against rest in season stretch run. Tribune editorial, infrastructure is a lot more than concrete and steel. High winds will ease up Wednesday morning, but snow and rain will stick around. Commentary, the economy that allows you to get your job done is broken. Reed Galen, the January 6th uprising was just the beginning. Number of new COVID-19 cases in Utah climbs back above 500. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. How the FBI managed to get into the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone. Washington state votes to end restriction on community broadband. What happens when you have a heart attack on the way to Mars? Business travelers planning to cut future flights, poll finds. Israel may have destroyed Iranian centrifuges simply by cutting power. Gensler confirmed as top Wall Street cop, bringing the new era of tough scrutiny. Coinbase opens at $102 billion valuation on first day of public trading. EU Commission to end AstraZeneca and J&J vaccine contracts at expiry. Parallels 16.5 can virtualize ARM Windows natively on M1 Macs with up to 30% faster performance. Sweden drops Russian hacking investigation due to legal complications. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. Branson repeals its mask mandate early. Prosecutor reviewing abuse claims against Missouri lawmaker Rick Rober. Former Central Missouri Police Chief settles lawsuit over losing job. St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force holds briefing. Missouri COVID update, 540 new cases, 3 virus deaths. Pet supply here, Bush Dog Brew's chief tasting officer gets $20,000 salary. Mizal football lands 3-star offensive lineman from Lebanon, M.O. The Missouri caves where you can drink wine. Jason Tatum says his lungs need inhaler months after COVID-19 diagnosis. Javier Molina gets standing ovation for reaching MLB catching milestone. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Caught on camera, smuggler drops child over border barrier in California. With 100 days to go, Tokyo scrambles to stage pandemic Olympics. UCSD to hold in-person graduation ceremonies this summer. Regular helps fight fire at popular Bankers Hill restaurant. Mural from Musgrove's no-hitter unveiled at his alma mater. Man gets prison time for bicyclists at and run death. Thieves caught on camera stealing $30,000 worth of cigarettes, scratch-offs. Officer won't face charges in San Diego woman shooting death at Capitol riot. Minnesota ex-police officer to be charged in fatal shooting of Daunte Wright. Wind advisory extended for San Diego County deserts, mountains. The next headlines are from spooknews.com. Personal GPS Tracker Market 2020, Industry Trends, Growth, Size, Segmentation, Future Demands, Latest Innovation, Sales Revenue by Regional Forecast. U.S. spy chiefs warn of unparalleled China threat and return to Congress. Steven Strasberg goes on spy camera rant after disastrous Spy City, TV review. Heartbroken man speaks on the 40th anniversary of his young wife's death at the hands of an IRA gunman. Queen Elizabeth gets back to work days after the death of Prince Philip. Ex-husband jailed for stalking TV weather presenter. Call of Duty, Warzone teasers signal the end of Verdansk as we know it. Agent Sonia, a wife, mother and perhaps the best spy of all time. U.S. spy chiefs warn of unparalleled China threat and return to Congress. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. Poland inks deal with U.S. for 5 C-130H Hercules aircraft. Secretary of Russian Security Council fears Ukrainian invasion. Bella 1D has been retired from Bundeswehr after 53 years of service. Iveco opens new factory in Romania for high-mobility trucks. Lockheed Martin's new tactical satellites provide global, persistent support for warfighters. Russia concerned over emergence of Turkish combat drones in Ukraine. Russia newest radar system spotted in downtown Orenburg. U.S. Army awards contract to Lockheed Martin for new Stinger warheads. Lockheed Martin secures $447 contract for MH-60R helicopters for South Korea. Meme humor helps Ukrainians cope with fears of possible Russian offensive. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. The assassination attempt of Zhou Enlai. Beijing slams Japanese plan to dump Fukushima wastewater into Pacific. English pub chain Helen's to IPO's enormous offline social network. Kindergarten teacher under investigation after forcing student to smell his foot. A mob to sweep away one sexual harasser. A day in the life of a Beijing delivery driver. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Wednesday, April 14, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. Man charged with shooting elephant seal in head on California beach. Planning to travel this summer? You're not alone. Newsom reveals when full in-person instruction should begin at California schools. How Oakland is tackling illegal dumping hotspots. Officer won't be charged in Capitol riot shooting, prosecutors say. Reminder, federal taxes pushed back to mid-May. Prosecutor reveals how Kristen Smart was killed, announces charges against father and son. What to know ahead of San Francisco's big reopening. Solano County expands vaccine eligibility to 16 plus. Colton Underwood, star of The Bachelor, says he's gay. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Lombard woman celebrates 101st birthday by donating blood. Man City beats Dortmund for Champions League semifinal. Senate breaks filibuster on Asian American hate crime bill. New Boy Scouts bankruptcy plan could exclude local councils. Connor Scherch signs 2-year, $3 million deal with Capitals. Bell Works in Hoffman Estates opens new co-working space. Northwest suburban voters say yes in referendums. Minnesota cop will be charged in shooting of black motorist. Ponzi schemer Bernie Madoff dies in prison at 82. Could Jimmy Garoppolo end up a bear? The QB landscape has changed since Dalton signing. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Washington's newest museum is dedicated to an unlikely sea creature, mermaids. Now entering Uptown, Seattle City Council resolution to reaffirm neighborhood name stirs debate. Spooky sites, exploring Washington's ghost towns, abandoned areas. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Drought is ongoing in Algeria, Libya, Tunisia. Drought is ongoing in Bolivia, Brazil. Drought is ongoing in Mozambique. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal. Drought is ongoing in Mexico. Drought is ongoing in Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Afghanistan, China, Iran, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Drought is ongoing in Angola, Congo, DRC. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Wednesday, April 14th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from Cypher Brief Security News and High-Level Analysis. China's risky record on climate. Report, an analysis of Bitcoin's use in illicit finance. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Severe thunderstorm watch south of Houston until 8 p.m. Biden announces full troop withdrawal from Afghanistan by September 11th, ending longest U.S. war. One of Deshaun Watson's accusers drops lawsuit due to privacy as women's identities revealed. Daunte Wright shooting, former officer Kim Potter to be charged with second-degree manslaughter. Bernie Madoff, who ran the world's largest Ponzi scheme, is dead. Kristen Smart case, missing student killed during 1996 rape attempt, district attorney says. Derek Chauvin trial live coverage, expert blames George Floyd's death on heart rhythm problem. Oscar-nominated feeling through breaks barriers with deaf-blind lead. How 3 Brenham banks saved hundreds of businesses and jobs during the height of the pandemic. Man arrested, accused of shooting in Texas officer and later killing woman during carjacking. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Ralph says leaving Yukon not easy, but Vandy a no-brainer. Zuccarello scores twice as wild top Arizona 5-2. Coinbase soars in market debut, valued near $86 billion. Burns delivers with arm, bat as Brewers trounced Cubs 7-0. Ross Sharp, Zimmerman homers as Nationals playing Cardinals. Braves place LHP Fried, of Pesci on 10-day injured list. Mariners-Orioles rained out, doubleheader set for Thursday. Ziegler replaces Roggensack as Supreme Court Chief Justice. House to review Capitol artifacts for offensive depictions. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Extra, ever try working out on weed? New Yorkers, closing time is now midnight. COVID hospitalizations cut in half among older New Yorkers thanks to vaccines. Do any of these mayoral endorsements matter? NYPD officers find dead body after observing men load large object into trunk of car. NYC parents sue mayor for a full reopening of schools. You just never know when a geyser of mystery gunk is going to blast out of your kitchen sink. Schumer says it's time to end federal cannabis prohibition. City council candidates vie for voters' attention in districts pummeled by COVID-19. Activists are not a photo op, Black Lives Matter protesters heckle Andrew Yang during bike ride for Daunte Wright. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. Ecological cook stoves help preserve El Salvador's coastal mangroves. Large, likely long-lasting crisis looms over Mozambique's Cabo Delgado, UNICEF warns. COVID-19 teaches us to better manage global systemic risks. Hundreds of millions of women living lives governed by others, UN report shows. Profound reform or redundancy United Nations quandary? Kosovo, expectations high following elections, UN envoy tells Security Council. Museums must not be overlooked in pandemic recovery, UNESCO chief warns. UN and partners announce Afghan peace summit will convene in Turkey this month. Burundi refugees in Tanzania living in fear, UN rights experts. WHO and partners urge countries to halt sales of wild mammals at food markets. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. Harvard MIT researcher, COVID definitely could have leaked from a lab. Nancy Pelosi's husband buys Microsoft ahead of big government contract. Oligarchy, over 100 Wall Street titans conspire anonymously to undermine electoral reform laws. Sweden axes Gates' mad global warming scheme. Russia warns U.S. warships to stay far away from Crimea for their own good. Japan decides to dump 1 million tons of radioactive Fukushima water into the Pacific, IAEA approves. CNN, Ukrainian trains with heavy weapons going east are Russian aggression. Tucker Carlson, the ADL supports replacement theory when it comes to Israel. 2021 BLM riots, Day 2, Dollar Tree looted for Dante, police battle with rioters in Minnesota. Big corporations now deploying woke ideology the way intelligence agencies do, as a disguise. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Does U.S. rank number 1 in incarceration, gas consumption, military spending? Did Texas students hold a mock slave auction on Snapchat? Are COVID-19 tests sterilized with a chemical linked to cancer? Is the actor who played Steve Urkel launching Purple Urkel cannabis line? The disabled hope their Oscar moment can become a movement. Did Steakums tell Neil deGrasse Tyson on Twitter to log off, bro? Prosecutors, no charges for officer in Capitol riot shooting. No evidence BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors used donations to buy house. Amazon claims social network Parler trying to conceal owners. Expert blames George Floyd's death on heart rhythm problem. The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Underselling the infrastructure in infrastructure plan. Posts falsely identify suspect in fatal shooting as George Floyd's brother. The facts on the recommended J&J vaccine pause. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Ivanka Trump gets the Pfizer jab. Her anti-vax fans are not happy. How Madoff, the man without a soul, hustled his victims from the shadows. Prince Harry is having a very weird week back in the UK. The Crown was not a full picture of snob Prince Philip. Bachelor Colton Underwood coming out as gay doesn't change how he allegedly stalked his ex-girlfriend. Taliban promises nightmare for U.S. troops in final Afghanistan stretch. Fox News outraged by PC, AP style guide, mistress has been cancelled. I kill all you, teen incel who scaled NYC bridge charged with threatening to blow up restaurant. Defense expert claims exhaust from cop car contributed to George Floyd's death. Veteran cop who killed Daunte Wright charged with second-degree manslaughter. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Shaq hit on Baylor star Diddy Richards' mom during interview. 5 engagement rings and a helicopter, couple's flashy proposal goes viral. Disney adopts gender-inclusive costumes for theme park staff. The big question hanging over Jets' expected Zach Wilson pick. Stream it or skip it, Law School on Netflix, a K-drama about a group of law students trying to solve a murder at their school. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. There might be remnants of an ancient planet buried inside Earth. How do scientists build the best diet for astronauts? You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. CDC prepares to hold emergency meeting on Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. Brazil's COVID crisis intensifies as worrisome variant spreads. Dr. Anthony Fauci on Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine pause. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin moves closer to passenger launches. Fauci on what Johnson & Johnson vaccine reactions could mean for women. Meet the Monkadactyl, a newly discovered ancient dinosaur. FDA says Johnson & Johnson vaccine pause expected to last a matter of days. U.S. puts Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine on hold over reports of blood clots. U.S. calls for pause on Johnson & Johnson vaccine over rare blood clots. Biden, there's enough vaccine for every American despite Johnson & Johnson pause. The following headlines are from alienUFOsightings.com. Is that a UFO? Mystery as hundreds of sheep stand in circle in field. Social media users say it looks just like alien ship. Science explained, how can the diameter of the universe exceed its age? The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. California's city of Placerville, also known as Hangtown, votes to remove news from logo. Biden appears remotely at Sharpton's non-convention, touts $2 trillion infrastructure plan as good for black communities. Walmart to make 67% of hourly store workers full-time by January 31st. Wine fraudster who inspired Netflix Sour Grapes documentary deported to native Indonesia. Colorado boy, 12, dies after weeks on life support following online blackout challenge. NY advocates and progressive lawmakers set sights on health care, evictions and reducing jail population. Child star Lee Aker of Rin Tin Tin fame dies alone and unclaimed at 77, report. Connecticut gunman injures one person, then kills himself in hours-long standoff with police. Man accused of Texas mass shooting was harassed by co-workers, attorney claims. McDonald's to require anti-harassment training at all worldwide locations. The following headlines are from military.com. In first, male Marines graduate from historically all-female boot camp training battalion. Army investigates video allegedly showing a white and co-assaulting a black man. It's official, Biden vows to bring all troops home from Afghanistan by September 11th. National Guard therapy dog dies weeks after earning Alaska Commendation Medal. No charges for police shooting death of Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt in Capitol riot. Biden's gamble, will pulling troops revive extremist threat? Navy commander charged with sexual assault while traveling in India. 80% of active duty soldiers will be vaccinated by July 4th, Army Surgeon General pledges. Why 300 sailors and Marines deployed on an amphibious ship with smart rings. Soldiers involved in flying helicopter low over DC protesters have been disciplined, Army says. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Open lands Lakeshore Preserve in Highland Park closed after explosive material found near Fort Sheridan. 2 Gary women in custody after fight involving children ends in gunfire, barricade situation, 1 woman wounded. Man faces murder charge after girlfriend found shot in Bishop No parking lot, documents allege. Coronavirus in Illinois updates, more than 3 million residents now fully vaccinated, parents group accuses CTU of moving the goalposts on reopening, 3,536 new cases and 31 more deaths reported. The Spin, Lightfoot says she's watched video of fatal police shooting of 13-year-old Adam Toledo as city braces for its release. Pritzker feeling fine after J&J vaccine. Obama Presidential Center facing new lawsuit. Bond set at $500,000 for Morton Grove man involved in 16-hour standoff with police. Parents group accuses Chicago Teachers Union of moving the goalposts as it stages walkout over plan to reopen high schools Monday. Video of fatal police shooting of 13-year-old Adam Toledo to be made public Thursday, officials say. Springfield man charged with storming Senate floor in U.S. Capitol attack. Obama Presidential Center faces new lawsuit the same day as pre-construction work in Jackson Park begins. The following headlines are from FIS.org. Mock crew straps into space capsule, exits before liftoff. RNA holds the reins in bacteria, researchers observe RNA controlling protein synthesis. The American public is responsible for identifying over a quarter of new invasive species. Channel migration plays leading role in river network evolution, study finds. Blowflies may be the answer to monitoring the environment non-invasively. Reliably measuring whether rivers or lakes run out of air. To improve climate models, an international team turns to archaeological data. Using sound waves to make patterns that never repeat. New method measures superfast, free electron laser pulses. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Wednesday, April 14th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from Discover magazine. Pollinators are in trouble. Here's how transforming your lawn into a native wildflower habitat can help. Could carbon capture technology help the U.S. meet climate change commitments? In a world of endless choices, why is decision-making so tiring? Who are the fastest animals in the world, and why? How close are we to a cure for HIV? Can we all agree that the false consensus effect is fascinating and weird? Yes, skies sometimes really turn green before tornadoes. How to start bird watching in your city. Best fat burner for women, complete buyer's guide. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. After months on lamb, slaughterhouse escapee buffalo caught. Michigan's Brooks set to return for extra season. Bicyclist killed by driver in Seward Park remembered as great colleague, a dear friend. Duke's hurt declares for NBA draft after breakout season. White Sox plays RHP on IL, recall RHP birdie. Explainer, Chauvin defense suggests prone position not risky. House panel poised to advance bill on slavery reparations. Biden to name Asian American Pacific Islander liaison. The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. After ransomware attack, Union City hiring cybersecurity manager. Bay Area TV Sports, what to watch on Thursday, Friday. A's to get first-hand look at Detroit Tigers rookie sensation Badu. 12 missing from ship that capsized off Louisiana coast. COVID, Governor Newsom cites progress even as state lags in school reopening. Warriors James Wiseman to undergo surgery this week, set timetable for return. SF Giants Johnny Cueto exits with injury, bullpen picks up where he left off in shutout win over Reds. Watch, Santa Clara County health officials answer questions on vaccine supplies and resources, April 14th. New job for Ivanka Trump, joining pro-Trump think tank, report says. 2021 Oscars, Lafayette native earns raves for Pixar's Bro. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. Nashville mayor, Oracle to bring 8,500 jobs, $1.2 billion investment. New Mexico School District wants 20,000 youth vaccinated. Lawsuit describes night of fear for Wall of Moms protester. Admin who didn't report Osudoc's misconduct cedes license. Mississippians license requirements for some beauty jobs. U.S. health advisors seek more data on rare clots before deciding next steps on Johnson & Johnson Covey. Steve Scalise says GOP would take action against Matt Gaetz if Department of Justice charges Florida congressman. Grandson sentenced to life after murdering grandmother. Student journalist protection bill stalls in legislature. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Indoor dust contains PFAS and other toxic chemicals. Nevada's new Democratic Party raises back funds shuttled by ex-staff. Rep. Betty McCollum leads effort to block Israel from using USA to destroy Palestinian homes. Chantal Brown approved major contract, then contractor backed her campaign. The Border Patrol's application in the Sonoran Desert. It's consumed our lives, volunteers step in as Border Patrol drops migrants off in tiny Arizona towns. Israel may have destroyed Iranian centrifuges simply by cutting power. The Journalist and the Whistleblower. Chicago awaits video of police killing a 13-year-old boy. Minneapolis curfew sows confusion for those with COVID-19 vaccine appointments. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Wednesday, April 14, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Cultivating matsutake, valuable edible fungi. Ocean temperature reconstructed over the last 700,000 years. 3D printed material to replace ivory. Rapid decreases in resting heart rate from childhood to adulthood may indicate heart trouble ahead. Is it possible to predict when a woman will enter menopause? Worm infections leave African women more vulnerable to STIs. Tracking the evolution of the novel P.1 SARS-CoV-2 lineage in Manaus, Brazil. Most young people eager for COVID-19 vaccine, poll shows. For veterans, a hidden side effect of COVID, feelings of personal growth. Self-assembling nanofibers prevent damage from inflammation. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. The Cubs needed a fast start, but the offense has hit the brakes. Cubs Kyle Hendricks feeling better after being scratched from start. Man found shot to death in Hagerwish. Dante Wright, doting dad, basketball player. Defense expert blames George Floyd's death on heart trouble. Former Minnesota cop charged in shooting of black motorist. 12 missing from capsized ship after 6 rescued off Louisiana. Stinging report raises new questions about Capitol security. U.S. weighs next steps for J&J virus shot amid clock mystery. Man fatally shot in Chatham. The feed from the Riverfront Times St. Louis has been removed for putting advertisements in its news RSS feed. Steve's Hot Dogs and Lion's Choice made a hot dog baby together. Tommy Jims, farewell to the weed man. College dabbers and dabblers. My doctor couldn't prescribe medical marijuana, a stranger could. Best fat-burning pills 2021, thermogenic supplements to lose weight fast. The next headlines are from Detroit Metro. Bruce Springsteen, Wayne Kramer among rock stars to honor Cream magazine's Dave Marsh with virtual 3-week tribute. Dearborn's Greenfield Village reopens with pandemic precautions. Red Bali Kratom, effects, dosage, and best source. Black man wrongfully arrested based on false facial recognition match sues Detroit police. Green mean to Kratom, effects, dosage, and best source. Michigan dispensary owners say many people are turning to cannabis for a good night's rest. Michigan-based cannabis brand Verdux wants to elevate your smoking experience to high fashion. Understanding the cannabis laws in Michigan. The Republican Party believes that too many of the wrong people are voting. Savage Love, my ex-boyfriend is dating a man now. Why does this bother me so much? You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Wednesday, April 14, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Houston Sports, Astros star players land on injured list. Wanted, a full-time food editor for the Houston Press. Busby to refile all 22 lawsuits against Watson with plaintiff names. A.J. Hinch deserved a hero's welcome at Minute Maid. Houston's largest mural brings attention to food insecurity. Poll, over 90% of Houston Texan fans are out on Deshaun Watson. Revisiting Resident Evil 7 ahead of Village. Houston Concert Watch 4/14, Beatle, Reed Southall Band and more. Local Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccinations halted after FDA and CDC recommend pause. Hurricane forecasters predict another busy season for thoughts. The next headlines are about world records making news. Worcester native Katie Kellett sets the world record for the jump squat. WBZ News Radio 1030, KFI AM 640. PD posts 57.39 100 breast, now has 20 fastest swims of all time, swam. Blind racer will attempt to set a new world record in 800 horsepower Corvette, car scoops. Man attempts Guinness World Record for longest run on treadmill in Palm Beach Gardens, WPTV.com. Guinness record holder gets first haircut in 12 years, donates locks to museum, UPI News. Could a world record be broken as a note written in rust is put to the test, Cointelegraph. The Robin Cancer Trust's campaign breaks world record, Dunmel broadcast. Watch, Guinness World Records ASMR video is giving viewers a tingling sensation, News 18. Desiree Linden breaks women's 50K world record by over 7 minutes, CBS Sports. Bernie Madoff, world record holder for biggest Ponzi scheme, dead at 82, Rolling Stone. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Study finds lower life expectancy around Superfund sites. Mystery of who cracked the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone for the FBI solved after 5 years. Revenge, Spectrum workers on strike build their own ISP. Sony quietly adds HDMI link function to PS5, but it's kind of a bust. Gaze upon my browser extensions and despair. The Xperia 1 Mark III could be Sony's big chance for a major mobile comeback. The 10 best deals of April 14, 2021. The plan to give Android users their own version of iMessage is officially dead. Navy acknowledges weird footage of unidentified objects flying around its ships is real. See the fractal-like shells of ammonites like never before. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was via Alsdriven, South Africa at 112.64 degrees Fahrenheit or 44.8 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Vostok in Antarctica at minus 94.54 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 70.3 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. What to expect from Apple's spring-loaded event on April 20th. Comparing the actual U.S. grid to the one predicted 15 years ago. AT&T Verizon Workers Union urges states to regulate internet service providers as utilities. The very common vaccine ingredient at the center of J&J, AstraZeneca drama. Everything we know about Audi's next electric crossover, the Q4 e-tron. Fast and Furious 9 drops a new trailer ahead of June 25th release. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile kill their cross-carrier RCS messaging plans. Oculus Quest 2 gets official wireless VR mode, 120Hz support via patch. 100 million more IoT devices are exposed, and they won't be the last. Mazda's electric MX-30 goes on sale in the US this fall. The following headlines are from Raw Story. Ramadan, 6 questions answered. U.S. banks ride a strengthening economy to blow out Q1 profits. GOP lawmaker slammed in Washington Post for parroting Tucker Carlson's racist replacement conspiracy theory. The Republican culture war isn't about politics, it's all about money, conservative columnist. Republicans settle on their strategy for dismantling democracy. Young climate activists sue Brazil over carbon trick. Rand Paul complains that courts didn't give Trump's election fraud conspiracies a chance. Republicans tried to bring down Kamala Harris with a stunt, but it failed in the most embarrassing way. Number 2 House Republican says GOP won't take action against Matt Gaetz unless something really formal happens. Joe Biden, tormented by America's wars. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Far-right extremism has become one of the intelligence community's rising threats. How do you laugh with a saxophone? Look to Red Holloway. The cop who shot Daunte Wright will be charged with manslaughter. Why Puerto Rico statehood is so much more complicated than it is for D.C. One trial cannot change American policing. Elizabeth Warren slams student loan servicer as Democrats call for debt cancellation. America's wealth gap is much more obscene than you had imagined. Dearest Bianca, Myanmar activists beg American brands to help them end the military coup. It's time to treat gun violence as a public health crisis. How America's ultra-wealthy won the pandemic. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. New DVD, Blu-ray and digital release highlights for the week of April 12th to 18th, 2021, ABC News 4. The following items are today's top search results for the term neural plasticity. Social wasps lose face recognition abilities in isolation, FIS.org. Researchers receive $2.7 million to study sex differences in social reward, Georgia State University News. Isolation alters visual areas of brain in social wasps, Cornell Chronicle. Rivka Gouch and a mystery to itself, What is a Brain? LRB April 22, 2021, London Review of Books. Why Israel is becoming a hub for Parkinson's research, The Jewish Voice. Astrocyte cells in the fruit fly brain are an on-off switch that controls when neurons can change and grow, SciPost. These ants can shrink and regrow their brains, National Geographic. Editor's Choice, a miniaturized enzymatic biosensor for detection of sensory-evoked D-serine release in the brain, Newswise. Research uncovers on-off switch that controls when neurons can change and grow, FIS.org. What foods are good for brain development in kids, Medical News Today. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Wednesday, April 14th, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Did the Navy film triangular-shaped UFOs? That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News i8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News i8. All rights reserved. Instagram,